Hello everyone, welcome to our video on Good Readers Ask Questions. Today we're going to go over a skill that you should be using anytime you read any text for any reason. This is something that you should do. Asking questions throughout your reading will help you become a better reader, will help you understand the text better, and will help you dig just a little bit deeper into what you're reading. So before we start, make sure that you have your notebook set up. On the left side of your notebook, you should have your visa ready for reflection after you watch the video. On the right side of your notebook, you should have your note taker. Remember that you should be writing what I show you on the screen, following along so that you have it complete at the end of the video. Remember also that you need to follow along the video as you write your notes, but pause the video as you go to give you enough time to write everything. And then I suggest you rewatch the video after you're done with your notes so you can come back and make sure that you actually paid attention and you understood everything that you saw, just to make sure you have a better grasp and that you didn't miss anything. So your note taker looks like this. What I show you on the screen, you should be writing down. So first of all, let's talk about before reading. This is when you first pick up a book. Before you even start it, you should always do the following. You should always look at the title, of course, because that tells you what the text is going to be about. If there's any images, pictures, illustrations, any other features that you can look at, flip through the book or the text. It doesn't always have to be a book, but scan through the text and see if there's anything else that can give you a hint as to what you're reading. Why is it important for us to ask questions? To see if it's interesting, first, to make sure that it's something you actually want to read, to help you make predictions. Again, using all of that stuff that you see throughout the book is going to help you predict what is it going to be about, and it just gets your brain ready to understand it, to make connections, to see if there's anything that you already know, anything it reminds you of, things like that. So some examples of good questions to ask yourself before reading is, what is this book about? Who is this written for and why? You know, the audience that it's written for can make a difference as to the content of the book. What do I already know about this topic? Again, those connections. And what connection do I have to the topic? All of these things get your brain ready to better understand the topic. Once you're done with that, you actually start reading, right? This is while you're reading, you should be asking yourself these questions. Why? Because it helps you make inferences, meaning it helps you dig deeper and better understand the topic. It makes you wonder and stay focused, right? If your brain is actively engaged, you're going to stay focused and you're going to better understand it. To comprehend the text better, a synonym for comprehend is understand. Again, to make those connections throughout the reading and to make your predictions. And not only just to make your predictions, but confirm them and even change them. You should have made predictions before you started reading the book. And as you read, you need to decide, were your predictions correct? Why or why not? If they were wrong, well, then what do you predict now? How can you change those predictions based on what you see now in the book? Some examples of these questions are, I wonder if, what will happen next? Why did something happen? Why did someone do something? Who did this? Who is this person? Who is going to solve the problem, whatever it is? What will happen if? When will? How did? And what does this mean? You'll notice a lot of these questions are not completed because these questions really depend on what your text is about. The type of text will determine how these questions are completed. And of course, these are not the only questions you can ask during reading. I'm sure you guys will come up with your own as you read the book. These are just some examples. Then your job's not done just because you finished reading the text. After reading, you should still keep asking yourself questions. Why? To identify the author's purpose. Why did the author write this, right? To make those connections again. To identify the theme or the lesson. This is really important, especially for fiction texts. To identify the point of view. Who was writing or telling this text? To identify the main ideas. And to help you summarize. It's good to get into the practice of summarizing a text just in your head to make sure that you got all the main important parts of it. So questions that will help with this are, why did? What would have changed if? What did they learn? What was this mainly about? And what did the author want me to know? All of these questions are kind of reflection questions that you can ask yourself after you read a text. Again, these are not the only questions, and I'm sure you all will come up with some more depending on the text that you're reading, but this is just examples that can get you there. So by now, your note taker should look like this. Remember that this is a skill that you should be implementing in any text you read anytime. Again, this will help you become a better reader, make you comprehend and understand the text better, and just help you connect to the text more thoroughly. If you do this consistently, you'll get better at it and your reading will get better. Remember to make sure your notes are complete. Make sure your visa response is complete. To post your Part A, which is the ask a question of your visa on Google Classroom or wherever else your teacher has asked you to do that, but of course make sure it's in your notebook as well, and be ready to discuss the video. That Part A of your visa is really important for the discussion, so it's really important that you have it done.